Discerning the Seasons, My Testimony, Part 3. When we are born into dysfunctional families, some of the people in that family begin to suffer from addiction, psychological trauma, sickness, poverty, abuse, etc. They are not sober-minded or conscious of all the bad things that could happen to the innocent, youngest, or weakest member. The devil is looking for an open door so that he can attack innocent victims. He comes to kill, steal, and destroy. The vulnerable ones are usually the ones who will suffer from the harm and evil that gets in. That is how life happens to the good ones. It does not take long before he makes his move because nobody is praying nor paying attention to anybody else's pain but their own. My paternal grandmother would talk for hours and days about how mean and wicked people treated her. I didn't understand the reasoning behind these stories. However, later on, I realized she helped me know how to act in situations and how to survive. Nevertheless, I blocked out a lot of her wisdom and words because I judged her by how she would fuss at me for hours and days and hurt my feelings. I felt unloved when I was a child and traumatized and yearned to have the protection, warmth, kindness, and touch of a mother's love. However, I thought love was about buying me nice clothes, baby dolls, and doing nice things for me. Later in life, I realized that my grandmother's stories were preparing me to make it through life and not to fall victim to the things she endured. I was traumatized as a child and had seen life and death flash before me, and at the same time, I felt scared that adults were not who they portrayed themselves to be. My thought processes were not normal because I was always fantasizing about being loved and protected from the bad things that I had experienced and being rescued. On the other hand, I had to grow up fast and try to sort out the truth and escape the nightmare. The lies that my parents told me eventually caught up with them and it left emotional scars with me. How was I supposed to get free from being related and connected to all of this deception and evil? I carried for years the feelings of being rejected among being the last person to think I deserved to be loved. As you could imagine, I ran from all of that dysfunction into the next chapter that ensnared me for 15 years. So much was happening to me and inside me. Being a pregnant teen, it took my life down another spiral turn, and there I had to learn what the Bible meant about being unequally yoked when I got married to my son's father. I thought that getting married would cover up my sin and past. Technically, I was trying to mask the hurt and pain with love and having a family of my own, but in reality, it only pushed my emotional baggage down further inside me because I didn't know or understand why my dad didn't choose to love me, nor affirm me or love me enough to protect me from running to the first man that I listened to say he loved me. Women like me end up in bad situations for years because I ran away from the little girl in me that never got to heal. Consequently, when there is no safe place to go or person to turn to, the wolf is always at the door or out watching for the next vulnerable or abused victim. It is indeed by the mercy and grace of God that I survived my past. My mind was not sound, nor was my soul set free when my circumstances changed. What I thought being free was not what freedom was. My mind was entangled by the nightmares and demons that haunted me. The truth was, I allowed my childhood hurt and fears to cripple me and not love myself enough to protect the little girl in me, and by attaching myself to so many people that only liked me long enough to inflict their pain on me. It is not a cliche, it is true. Hurt people hurt people. Children who endure a lot of pain, trauma, and misfortune, they build up a high tolerance for pain. I got in the way of my destiny when I gave my mind over to believe Satan's lies. He was using the man I married and saw that I had lost my faith and had no genuine self-esteem and no knowledge of my value to live above my circumstances. When I walked away from the marriage, I gave it all up, forgave my ex-husband and myself. I sought after God and prayed for his blessings and forgiveness. I prayed without ceasing and cried endless days and nights. I needed to grow up and not be afraid to walk alone. Thank you for listening.